Evening, this is Gordon, MM0GPZ. Give you a quick look at the Expert 1.3K, which I've just taken out the box today and spent more time getting set up than I thought I would. And most of that's been to do with understanding how the menu works with setting up antennas, and more time was spent trying to get the ATU to work. I was starting to think it didn't have one, but it does, and it's easy to understand, but I didn't find it in the menu, so no doubt everybody else will find it much easier than I did. But make this little video just to let you have a quick look at it and see how to go through some of the menus for the first time perhaps. Okay, so this particular, or all of them I believe, have got 4 inputs. So there's 4 inputs for antennas, 1, 2, 3, 4. Currently using 2. One is the hex beam, which is good for 6 to 20 metres. Second one is a quarter wave vertical on 40 metres. And this connection over here is input to the radio. Right next to it is another input which can go to a second radio and is easily switchable from the front panel. So back to the front panel, and as I say, the input button lets you swap to radio 2, radio 1. I don't have anything attached just now. The antenna button, when you've set up correctly, lets you switch between antennas. You'll see I can't switch because I haven't got an alternative antenna for 10 metres just now. Looking across at the other side, the first thing you want to do is set up, get the CAT set up, and then your antennas. I'm not going to go into the CAT, that's really straightforward. All of the menus are in the set option, and they're all done under standby. To put it into operation mode, it's just a matter of hitting the op button, and to go back to standby, another press does it. Moving into the set up menu, you then get your option to set up antenna, CAT, manual tune, which I haven't done yet, and also using the left and right arrows moves you through. Now, at one point I thought tune antenna was antenna tuner, but it's not. Tune antenna is to do with stepper type antennas, steppers and dream beams and so on that have motors to make themselves resonant. Nothing to do with antenna tuners. And if you set it to on in here and say antenna 1 and set that to be tunable, you won't be able to use the ATU. So you leave that at no, and pressing the disc button for a second takes you back out. So let's go back in, we'll set the antennas up to an extent. They're mostly set up in mine, but I'll make a minor change just to show it. If we go into antenna, and what you see here is all bands from 160 to 4 metres, and there's 2 columns next to each of them. Column 1 is the main antenna that you're going to use, and column 2 is an alternative antenna that you can use, and you can pick from any of the antennas from 1 to 4 for these. So in my situation, like I say, I've got a hex beam from 6 to 20, so if you look at 20 metres, it's got number 1, so that's set to antenna 1, 12 metres, 10, all set to antenna 1, no antenna for 4, and number 15, first of all 40 metres is set to antenna 2, which is a quarter wave vertical, which also happens to be resonant on 15 metres, so we've set that to number 2. And incidentally, just to set them, you just use the up down arrows to go to the band that you want to go to and cycle through. So if I wanted to set 17 metres to band 2 as well, I would go to that and then just repeatedly press the set button, and it cycles through the available options. So that's no antenna, doesn't go to 1 because it's already in column 1, so antenna 2, 3 or 4. We'll just leave it at no. What we will do is, because we're going to have a little play, see if we can get the tuner to work, get the 40 metre vertical to work on 30 metres. I'll move to 30 metres, antenna 1, and where it currently says no, I'll press the set button until it goes to antenna 2. and I want it to be able to tune it, obviously, because it should not be close to resonant. But what we do over here on the left hand side, you see the tune, every time you press that it cycles between B, takes the B in or takes it out again, and the B stands for bypass. So if you have 2B, the ATU won't be used, it will go straight through and it's not in circuit. And you're best to do that if your antennas are resonant, because it's 0.8 dB loss to use the ATU. So in this case, however, it definitely needs not to be bypassed, so we'll leave it like that. Over to the right, move across until we get to save, and press the set button to save, storing data, and it's ready to go. Okay, so what we want to do now is actually tune, and again you do the ATU, you set up the ATU while it's in standby mode, and you do it by putting the expert into ATU tune mode and then starting your transceiver transmitting with about 10 watts, much less than 5 watts, and the expert won't see it and it won't tune. So if I press the tune button quickly, you'll see the tune LED lights for about 3 seconds and goes off. So what you have to do is press the tune button and then quickly start transmitting on your transceiver. So I need 3 hands here. So you press the tune button. In fact, let's just see what the SWR is. So if we change to 30 meters using my transceiver, so there we go, so that's us on 30 meters now. And if I do a quick transmit, you see the SWR is about 2.5 or 2.7. Trick is now we press the tune to get it ready to go, and then I'll start my K3 transmitting quickly, hopefully. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, transmit. There you go, and you hear it's gone into its cycle and it's managed to get a perfect match. So I'm sure it's not going to be a very good antenna, but it can definitely be used now because the tuners tuned it in. We'll see how that works. But that's all I'm going to show. I hope that was useful to you. I certainly couldn't find a video myself today which would have made my life a bit easier in terms of trying to get that to work. Thanks for watching. MM0 GPZ. Bye bye.